Time to find out, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only your fist? Now, it was time for me to pick my character, and since this is in Fallout 4 with the Black Widow perk, I chose the male, gave him pink hair. And then I get my special tats, 10 in intelligence, and the rest I kind of spread out to the board for a perfect melee build. Because, well, fist counts as melee. And yeah. And then I picked my special skills, talked to Doc Mitchell, and went for heavy-handed and wild wasteland because I like to get crazy and I am using my fist. And yeah, since there's really no weapon restrictions, I can kind of do quests without really caring about getting the weapon, which was great because, well, I don't have any weapons to begin with, so no weapon restrictions. I decided to help the townsfolk fight against the powder gangers, so I assembled the men and it was time for us to fight. I want to see how good my fists do, and since they were just beginning enemies, I thought maybe it wouldn't be that bad just starting. Yeah, the damage wasn't too bad, but, these are the very beginning enemies. Anything without a lot of armor, my fist actually did quite well with. Anything with great armor, though, it really struggled, since they are just my bare hands. I then went to Primm to give them a new sheriff, and these convicts add actual armor, and believe it or not, when your bare fist hits metal, it doesn't do too well. So yeah, anytime I took too much damage, I just had to leave and drink water. But yep, my plan was just to fist them down and then go out and drink water, which worked out pretty well. And for some reason, the leader of the convicts dropped his flamer and decided to fight me fist to fist. But yep, with almost all my health gone, I went to Good Spring Source. By the way, I highly recommend any challenge you use, please use Good Spring Source. It will give you lots of energy. Anyway, I went back, dealt with the ones I didn't deal with before, then used my science to give Primm a sheriff. And after using the power of science, I then used the power of being gay to find out where the Great Khans went. So it was time to help the NCR wipe out the Great Khans, because I've been mean to the NCR in all my runs, so it's time I finally help them. I then untied the hostages, got shot at, ran away, waited for the NCR soldiers to assist me, because running at people with fists where you're getting shot with bullets is not that fun. After hiding behind a car, eventually the NCR did assist, so I went in and decided to punch down some Great Khans, because, well, the Great Khans suck and are waiting to die anyway, so you might as well side with the NCR. As I totally did most of the works, and nor all the NCR soldiers shooting down unarmed men, which is definitely a war crime, but the Geneva Convention does not exist anymore in Fallout, so it's all good. After committing war crimes, I then went to the king, and the king had a quest for me. You see, for me to get into the strip, a lot of different options, but I decided to use the king's favor because it was the easiest, and I could get a few quests done while doing it. So, I then had to fight Oris and take his armor. Well, I didn't have to take his armor. You see, he's a bodyguard scamming people, and you could go through out his old little trick, but instead of doing that, like 99% of people do, I just beat down with my fist, because then you could keep the money the king gave you. And, well, it's also quite enjoyable. So yeah, it took me a while, not gonna lie. This guy was very annoying, because my unarmed was not at 100 yet. Even with 100, it would take a long time for me to beat him down with his good armor. Like I said, armor is not the friends of your bare fist, because metal breaks bone. At least this guy's bones, not mine. My bones are strong. Anyway, after talking to the king, he then sent me on a new mission to do diplomacy with the NCR. You see, the kings in the NCR have not been on the best terms lately, so I decided to solve this as diplomatically as possible. And by diplomatically, I mean let my fist do the talking, if you know what I mean. Lie, they did put up somewhat of a fight. The only problem I had with them is because with all the gunfire coming from all the different directions, I would get staggered a lot. And when I was staggered, I couldn't really beat them down. But once I beat a couple of them down, it got a lot easier, and I was just able to destroy them. After that, I went back to the king, and he gave me a favor. And the favor I used was to get into the strip. Now I can finally get to the strip. I can finally settle the score with the person who shot me in the head. Of course, you know I'm talking about Benny. So it's time to find out who wins, a pistol or a fist. At least I wanted to find that out, but I didn't have enough speeds to get Benny alone. So I had to charge in there and get shot by a whole army while I punch this guy down as he runs away. So yeah, just a typical Tuesday, I guess. Not gonna lie, it took me way longer than I thought, because usually Benny goes down with ease. Even with my fist, I thought it would be really easy. But apparently it wasn't. One of the hardest parts was getting the platinum chip while I was getting stabbed and shot. But eventually I got it, ran off, and met Mr. House. Since I haven't gotten Mr. House in a while, I decided I would do his ending because, well, it's been a hot minute, and he's one of my favorite characters in Fallout. And his ending might even be canon, so to celebrate, I might as well get him. So after upgrading the Securitrons, I went to speak with Caesar, and he wanted me to destroy the generators at the bottom of the fort, but instead, I'm going to side with Mr. House and upgrade the Securitrons. I then had to beat a robot up with my bare fist, which was not fun. After 20 minutes of punching a robot, I then went in and canceled the security alert with my science. After canceling the security alert, I easily uploaded the data and turned on all the Securitrons at the bottom of the fort, which will definitely come in handy later. I don't know why I'm telling you this, you've all played New Vegas. Anyway, it was time for me to meet with the boomers. And after dying 2 or 3 times, eventually I was able to make it past them. Why did I make it past this time and not the other times? I have no idea. Honestly, I just run at the boomers. Sometimes I try to make it to the house. Other times I try to run right towards the gate. It's different every time. And I always wear the same armor, use the same healing supplies. Honestly, it's just dumb luck at this point. I will be honest. So, yep. After jumping to rock, I decided just to make it straight towards the fence. And it worked. I don't know why it worked this time, not the others, but hey, I guess I can't complain. After that, I met Mother Pearl. Even though it would be satisfying to beat them all down to death with my bare fist, I decided to help them instead because fighting people with rocket launchers and rockets does not sound fun. So, I went off to clear some ants, which apparently giant insects get destroyed by my fist. Then after that, I repaired some solar power plants. So, apparently I can do more with my hands and just murder people and ruin all their hopes and dreams. Who knew? After helping out the boomers enough, they finally idolized me, and it was time to get their plane out of the water. Silly plane. You're not supposed to be in there. You're not a boat. Such a silly plane. Anyway, after getting the plane out of the water, I then went and met with the Omeritas because it was time to get rid of the bad ones. Now, I could go over this entire quest, but as everyone has done in Fallout New Vegas, and it's really just talking and investigating until the very end. And since I just dub over everything for the sake of the video, I decided just to cut to the action, where I murdered 2 people down. And since they just wore suits and didn't have much armor, and I got the Super Slam perk, I easily killed them. If you're going to do this challenge, I highly recommend getting the Super Slam perk. You need 45% in melee, which means you're putting stuff in a weapon you'll never use just for the perk, but it's 100% worth it. After that, I got Veronica to visit her friends, and by visit, I mean bring me down to them so that I can destroy them all and murder their entire hopes and dreams and family. So, you know, that's cool. After that, it was time for me to save the NCR president, President Kimball. So, yep, after that, I lied and said I did the search, even though I didn't, and then I murdered the guy trying to assassinate the president, because, well, I've done this quest a million times, and I know exactly where he's going to spawn. After that, I then directed the power straight to the dam, and now was finally time for the Battle of Hoover Dam. And during this time, I did a great strategy. The strategy is called Run Away. I just ran away from everyone that tried to make it to the end. Since I had 50 stim packs and 11 super stim packs, I figured I can do it. After that, I hacked into the database and uploaded Mr. House. Then, I turned on the power, which will allow Mr. House to summon his army of Securitrons, and I made it to Legate Lanius. And I used my speech to fight him one-on-one. And this fight took me forever. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to scream and punch my monitor during this fight. This fight took 2 hours of my life. 2 hours that I'll never, ever, ever get back. I wish I could tell you I was joking, and I wish I could tell you I was kidding. I had the Super Slam perk so I could knock him down. So every time I knocked him down, I would simply just beat him up. Then I would try to run away on a rock and do it again. But I died so many times trying to do this. Over and over again. This was not fun whatsoever. Luckily, I had tons of stim packs and super stim packs, and I had the Super Slam perk, which let me knock Legate Lanius down and punch him. And this perk came in handy. If I didn't have the Super Slam perk, this would be impossible. Because the only way I'd be able to do damage to him is when he fell down. But even when he was down on the ground and I was just punching him over and over and over and over again, he would get back up with barely any damage whatsoever. There was some points in this fight where I was able to knock him down for a long period of time. But other times he would just get right back up. So I really have no idea why he stays down longer sometimes and why he doesn't the other time. So, I mean, you could say it's because I kept super slamming him, but I kept doing that and he kept getting up, so I don't know. I did find a little exploit where I would jump on this rock and he couldn't get me, then I would jump back down and fight him. And by the way, that's one of my deaths. I decided to record one of my deaths to show you that I died a lot, and I mean a lot. This was 2 hours of my life wasted. 2 hours of my life just so I can get 30 seconds of recording for you guys. Was it worth it? No. But eventually I managed to kill Legate Lanius. Then I talked to General Oliver. I wanted to spare General Oliver, but I forgot I was drunk. So since I was drunk, I didn't have enough science to talk him out of trying to kill me. And I didn't feel like reloading because I didn't save after I killed Legate Lanius. And there's no way in hell I would ever do that again. So I just ran back and let the Securitrons kill him. Then I went to Mr. House. And I proved that you can beat Fallout New Vegas with just your fist. Was it worth it? No. Do I recommend it? No. But I recommend you have a good day and you like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.